Good save.
That's perfect. Perfect. All right, so here's Coach Hafley. Obviously, welcome back, guys, on the pod. Defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley talking about just maybe mixing and matching when it comes to the safety position in Javon Bullard and Evan Williams.
You mentioned the bigger role for Evan. One of the byproducts of that is obviously having both him and Javon on the field together. When Jair returns, whether it's this week or some other week, you're going to have a decision to make. Have they kind of implemented themselves to the point where they both got to stay on the field?
Yeah, I think it's a great problem to have. And Ja comes back. Hopefully we'll get Ja back soon. And once he does, we'll have to figure out who we're playing, who our opponent is, what receivers we're playing against. Can there be different packages in the game? You know, we call the package that Bull was in one thing, and he knows to come out in the field in that spot. And when he goes to the safety position, we call it something else, and he goes to the safety spot, and Keyshawn was going into the nickel spot, right? And this week we have some other things possibly up where we say this, and guys are in different spots. I think it's our job to, if they're playing well, to find roles for them and make sure that they're on the field. But what unit gives us the best chance to win that particular game? I think it's very nice to have options. And the more guys that are healthier, the more competition we have, the better we'll get, the better they'll get, and we'll play better defense as we continue to go. But having those guys on the field and having their versatility where they can kind of switch around positions, I think it's huge.
You heard it from a coach right here.
Hey, the one thing that sticks out to me about Coach Haff more than anything, could care less about stats. Like he was getting so much harassment, just constant questions on the pass rush, questions on the pass rush. It's like, I'm going to do whatever. I could care less about yards. We're going to do what we need to do to win the ball game, right? And that's exactly what he's saying there. He's got knuckleheads like me going, Evan Williams needs to be started. And rather than going, yeah, you know what, let's start him, he's going, we'll look at the matchups. We'll see what makes sense here, right? And we've actually got some tape on both those guys that I'll show you guys. It's really exciting. But, yeah, what's your all's take on that as far as what he said, mixing and matching? I mean, I kind of feel like that's what y'all were just talking about.
Yeah.
But,
I think that's going to be key moving forward for the rest of the year. I think if we have that option that we can put a physical guy that wants to come downhill up at the line of scrimmage, if we watch the Cardinals and they run a lot of three safety, or, you know, they have that variation of the three safety and come down into two, or, you know, can man up any of those things. Maybe we like a couple of those looks that get sprinkled in. Then maybe that's another way you take one of the backers out. Then you got to take Coop off the field, or McDuffie or somebody like that, and get another spot for a DB. But it's the tweener that we wanted, you know, Tree Carpenter to be and all that stuff. If we can have Bull play down there and be a good coverage guy and all those things, I think that's 100% a blessing.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I still think Evan Williams is capable of playing in the box too, if we need to. That guy's a thumper when he needs to be. So this is a good problem to have, right? We talked about the depth. We talked about you know, Gangster Goody doing the G thing in the draft and retooling this safety room in basically one season, completely flipped the safety room, and we're seeing it right now. And you know, Coach Haff has got a lot of weapons at his disposal, and it's just about finding the right matchups week to week. Really, it really is.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. So what you got here on the screen are going to be Javon Bullard's run stops. Okay, I think he's got, what was the number he had? Obviously, he's played a lot more snaps than Evan Williams, but these are going to be stops. And let's see where he's at here real quick. I'm going to give you the proper number, the accurate number, I should say, because he had quite a few. Actually had 6, I believe. So here are some of his run stops. And this is what Bull does well. He's not horrible in coverage, but this is definitely his strength. Let's watch it here. You'll see he's safety over here, right? Kind of comes down the box. Look at this. No hesitation, making the play.
Shot the gap.
Yeah.
Chased him down.
That is my man's – that's his superpower. All right, let's watch actually, let's go back here. This is Eagles game. Again, playing left safety, okay? Watch how he closes on this. Watch him. No hesitation. Getting in there and making a play.
Wow.
Right. That's what he does well. Let's see. Here he is on Saquon Barkley. Going to close pretty quick as well. Actually, this is the same play. He's doing that thing.
It feels like he has that explosion that like Coop has when he's coming downhill too. Like they both had that same type of, I made the decision. I'm coming right. Fast.
Yep. Yeah. I love it. I think this will be useful too. I mean, I've been watching some tape on the Cardinals, and some of that pre-snap sugar we saw last week against the Rams, showing cover 2 and then rotating to like cover 1 or something. I mean, using Bullard in that way against Kyler Murray. I mean, we've seen it here. Look, we're looking against the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, real similar, a guy that's can do it with his arm and can do it with his legs. That's what we're going to be facing Sunday with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's a good point. And again, man, Bullard has looked really good against the run. There's no two ways about it. We showed you the -2 already. Here he is off left guard. Aaron Jones off left guard. So going to be a run to the left. I think that's him mugging the box there. Is that right? No, right here. Bang. Look at him fill that gap. I mean, he's sticking his nose in there, dude. No doubt about it. I think that was him and maybe Rashawn Gary on that play. Again, watch him come in here and fill this gap. No wasted motion.
Yep.
Bang.
Not afraid of contact, not afraid to engage.
Yeah,
you don't see him miss a tackle very often. I mean, if he gets contact, he's wrapping up. He's
right.
He's bringing.
He's
you
not
down.
throwing the shoulder and diving away in the corner. He's gonna put 1-2 arms on you.
Yep.
Yep. Beautiful.
So again, if the game plan suggests you need a spur safety down there in the box and shooting gaps, Bullard's probably your guy, right? I mean, that's what he does really well. Again, right here, watch him shoot this gap, get skinny in the hole, bang.
So athletic, man.
And every one of those plays, they look very similar, man. They're very similar in that regard. Let's watch the box cam here, the end zone, I should say. Let's find him. So where is Bull on this play? Must be off screen. So let's see if they actually run to the right here. That's a short pass, actually. I don't know how that got mixed in there, but you're going to see Bull come over. Bang.
Ooh.
Got him ribs too, right? Love to see it. So some people are going, okay, cool. So that's what Bullard does well. So Evan Williams is better in coverage. Yes, the stats would suggest that Evan Williams is a much better cover safety. Evan Williams is basically second in the team with passer rating when targeted at 49.3. Javon Bullard is 10th at 80.9. Okay. But that doesn't mean that our boy Evan Williams can't play the run, right? I'm going to show you what I mean by that because – listen, it was a very small sample size. We had 3 run stops, but you get all 3 of those in one game against the Rams. You're going to see a guy. Here's a guy that looks very, very similar to what you just seen with Javon Bullard. So let's find Evan Williams over here.
This is the most snaps that he's had all year too, right? He was in there for every snap. So obviously you get a couple chances, and I'm glad that he capitalized on them.
Definitely. You see here, he's kind of playing spur. You're going to come down here in the box and watch him. Just straight attack, right? Look at him fighting through 2 blocks. Did you see that? Watch him come through these 2 blocks right here, man. So you're going to see him fire down. Watch how quickly he recognizes, knows the gap, bang, bang, in there to make the tackle.
Yep.
So we're talking about getting to that next level, finishing the play. We didn't see that with a lot of guys last year. We're seeing it this year consistently.
Correct.
All
right, let's find. Now look at this, man. He came from a deep safety, deep half here. He was sugar and shell, or he was sugar and he was going to be the post safety. Then you're going to see Xavier McKinney bail out. Look at this. No hesitation. Watch him come downhill. Bang, right in the gap.
That's that X factor, man. That's that X factor. You can be confident in situations like this when 29's your deep responsibility, right? Just let him loose. Let him loose. Why play with hesitation, right? If they're going to fire him, let's go. And let X go ahead and patrol that secondary and, get another pick like he does every week.
So here he is again. It's a little bit better angle. Watch him. Just no hesitation, man. Get in there and get a hand on him.
Just lays out for it, too. Throws the body in there, no problem.
Yeah,
yep.
So that's what you're
getting. Coverage is definitely his strong suit, but don't sleep on his ability to pressure and tackle in the open field.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's hit these comments real quick. Put Stokes to the test this week against Harrison Jr. Lord have
from
mercy.
A fan right here.
Take that around the horn real quick because I think Emilio, the time has come. We're going Seattle plus 11.5, sir. It's early. We're jumping.
Stokes on Harrison Jr.
How dare you?
You know what? If it's not like he can't play with the talent, Georgia to Ohio State there, but I don't know. I think I'd let Stokes have the first chop at it. If Ja's not out there, we'll keep Key and Stokes on the edge and probably play Bull in the slot. I wouldn't be opposed with having Stokes on there first.
It's hilarious that Reef says put Stokes to the test this week against Harrison Jr. And then Professor Cake says, please God, do not put Stokes on Harrison Jr. That pretty much sums up Packer fandom here in 2020.
I would hate that it would be his breakout game if that's the case. You know
I'll give you one. Don't put anyone on Harrison Jr. Play zone coverage all day long, please.
Hey, listen, you're going to get no complaint from this guy,
well,
right?
That also probably helped pay attention to the quarterback, eyes on the ball kind of thing, so we don't let him scramble all over us at the same time.
Exactly. I've heard a lot of people talking about, man, the pass rush has got to get home. We got to pressure Kyler Murray. I'm like, man, you better be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, let him scramble right out the backside on you and watch how that works.
Yeah.
And Tim, you wasn't here last night, but we covered the pass rush pretty extensively, and there are some people that are upset right now because the Packers all of a sudden are 7th in sacks, 5th in pressures, I think is what it was, or 5th in sacks, 7th in pressures, and they're only blitzing. They're blitzing the third least amount in the league right now, at like 19%. So,
and people are upset.
Oh, of course, because they've already stood on that hill.
To my next point. Don't smoke crack.
See, they all those tweets are out there of them talking about how bad this pass rush is, and then all of a sudden you look up and go, "Oh, we're top 5, huh?" Yeah, let me. And then I was telling Emilio last night, and then the argument shifted to, "Yeah, but take that Titans game." Oh, all right, cool.
Pressure.
Like Emilio said, it sounded like Bear fans. Remember when they were doing that? Justin Fields has been dominant weeks 1 through 4 and weeks 13 through 16.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell are we doing? What are we doing right now? So, let's go to Coach Half for this since we're talking pass rush. That was a pretty good segue. Look at us being professional now. He was asked what he thought about the pass rush there against the LA Rams and was specifically asked about Edgerrin Cooper. Here we go.
Did you feel any better about the pass rush this last week? And I know we've asked you about this before, but Cooper seems like he brings some juice to that part of the game.
Yeah, Coop brings a lot of juice. If you guys saw him rush we had the one where we knocked him out of field goal range, right? Kind of came around and had a big play there. And then at the end of the game, we kind of had a different pressure where he wrapped around, and he's another part. You get 2 rookies in that situation on a 4th and 5 against Stafford at the end of a game, the 2-minute drive. One affected him throwing the ball quicker. He sped him up along with the rush. I mean, it wasn't just Cooper either. And then Evan obviously made the play. I thought there were times we got real good pressure on him. He gets rid of the ball extremely quick. And I think if you look, he threw the ball, 45 to 50 times. There was a lot of quick here, quick there, quick here, quick there. I mean, he sees it really well, and he was getting rid of the ball pretty quick. But I thought we hit him, and I thought we pressured him. So I thought for the most part we did a pretty good job. He's a great player.
All right, so there you go. Obviously, Edgerrin Cooper's starting to turn heads now, man. I'm excited about it. I really am. I think he's a player that he still looks raw. Like there was a couple times in pass coverage, you could tell he's very uncomfortable. But when you got him just attacking the line of scrimmage, boys, I can't think of any more that you could ask of him and how he's ran those straight blitzes. I mean, it to me, it was probably the highlight of Chalk Talk this week. But what do you guys think what do you guys think about what Half said with the pass rush? Anything y'all want to add there?
Just that, I mean, we can scheme them up, but again, we can't rush way too far upfield. We got to keep our lanes. It's got to be smart pass rush, because at the end of the day, Halfley's just scheming it to win the game. We're not scheming it so that one individual can get 35 sacks this year or something like that. The pressures will come, the coverage will tighten up, then the sacks will come, all those things. Let's get ourselves with a little bit of a lead, and we can let the pass rushers tee off. Look what happened in the Tennessee game. You know what I mean? So like, how many times have we been in that situation where we can not only have to play the run, 50-50, or, a read option, having to play the running back and the quarterback, play the give, also keep contained. There's going to be a lot of people put in, isolated situations this week. They got to perform. So if, Coop is overexcited and misses a play, that could happen here and there, but you got to have him on the field because he's going, 1,000% and bringing the heat. So,
yep.
That's going to happen. But
going back to camp, we talked about, as much crap as we've given Quay this year. I noticed very early that him and Edrin Cooper are thick as thieves, man. Everywhere Quay goes, Coops goes, and vice versa. And, we know what Quay's strong suit is, right? He's a hell of a coverage linebacker in the pass game. And if that's something that Cooper is still developing as a part of his game to kind of, make him a more well-rounded linebacker, playing next to Quay is going to give him that experience. And these guys are picking each other up. And, I think we've consistently seen more reps from Cooper week to week. Hopefully he cracks 30 snaps this week and continues to get more reps and experience. But I'm with you, Emilio. I feel like we're a better team with Edrin Cooper out there on the field. So We got to see it.
And if there's anyone out there that's going, yeah, is Kyler Murray really that good at scrambling, right? Is he that dynamic player? This year against the 49ers, 50 yards. He was clocked at over 20 miles an hour on this run as a quarterback. Let's watch it here. So here's what he can do. Here's a guy. Unfortunately, here's a guy. Why does it look dark like that? What is going on right now? What is this? Don't you let me down now, NFL Pro.
Are you running this off of Kyler Murray's Xbox? Or?
Oh, no, it's not double XP weekend. But look, read option, power play, tight end pulling.
He put his hand up at the 40. Go back and rewind that. My man puts his finger to this guy, knows he's scoring at the 40.
Right. And this is against Fred Warner and the boys. This is like top tier defense.
This is what I'm talking about. You run the read option here. We're going to fake the give right. And as he does that, Bosa crashes. Who's the read man on the quarterback? Maybe that corner or that safety that came down. You get one blocker in front of him, it's over.
This is what I'm noticing too. Watch how he crashes. And I don't know what is going on with this, man. This is driving me crazy already. So he crashes in, right? Goes to the running back. Like you said, Kyler pointing, man. That was just hilarious.
I'm taking it to I already know from the 40 in, I'm taking it to the house.
So what we're talking about here with the crash too, probably shouldn't do this again. You're going to notice up here, you're going to see a defender crashing and hit the running back, right? And that pistol set that we're talking about is really becoming really, really popular, right? So let's watch it one more time. You're going to see the defensive end crashes in on the running back, on the read option, the zone read, whatever you want to call it. Tight end's pulling, so you got a power bang. That was Bosa. And look at my man. He is off with the lollipop guild. You know what I'm saying? That man.
Huge block by 84 there.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the stuff you got to watch for when it comes to Kyler Murray. Now, listen, that was a design run, obviously, right? It wasn't like it was something where he was scrambling. I'm sure there's scrambling plays in there. His rushing stats on the year, he's got 23 attempts for 247 yards. If you do the math there, 10.7 yards per carry is what he's averaging. And he's got that touchdown. His rushing yards over expected is plus 89. So he's running the ball as well as he ever has. Now, as far as passing, 94 of 132, 972 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, got a rating of 99.1. 7 yards per attempt, completion percentage is 68.1. My man is playing good football. There's no two ways about it. No two ways about it. So what you got to do as a defense is you've got to go in there and go, okay, what are their top 3 concepts that they're running in the passing game, right? We've seen the zone read. How are we going to attack the mesh point? That's the number one way to be able to defend the zone read. Now, out of the pistol, it makes things way more difficult. But I'd be looking to get we were kind of concerned about Justin Fields last year. And the one guy that I felt like neutralized Justin Fields, especially in week 1, is LVN. Mm-hmm. I try to put LVN, play the tendency game. Okay, if LVN's into the game, do they like to run zone read right or left when they're in the pistol, right? So which is the predominant? All right, let's make sure LVN's on that side because LVN will be able to run him down. And he's got the wingspan to really close that gap up, close that space up on someone who's as quick as Kyler Murray. So we'll see, though, man. Again, this is why you draft people like Quay and Cooper, right? Linebackers that are extremely fast that you can spy the quarterback with. So look for some mug, that little double A gap mug, a little double barrel touch spy, right? Get back and take care of the rush lanes. Don't be surprised if they really hold back this week on some of the pass rush like we've seen against Philly and like we've seen in week 2 against the Colts. I know people don't want to hear that, but you heard Half. Half's out to win games. He could care less about the rushing yards. So
I'm with Reef here in the chat. We got Williams, Quay, Cooper, Bullard. I dare Murray.
I dare him.
Dare him.
I love it, man. All right. Anything else in the chat we need to hit on? We're pretty much – oh, here we go. Dan in the chat says, rain forecast throughout the game Sunday, run the ball. Oh, that's really interesting there. Really interesting. This is going to be silly, but, Kyler Murray is a shorter guy. That's one of the knocks coming out of college. He was extremely dynamic. Emilio, how difficult would it be for you to look up Kyler Murray's hand size right now and how it may track?
Find that out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a side-by-side comparison to an Xbox controller. We want to, for scale, we want to.
Oh, my God.
I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I immediately do I need to look up,
looks like its hand size is 9.5 inches.
All right.
5'10", 1/8, 5'10" and an eighth, 207 was his combine measure.
You heard it from a fan right here.
So you said his hand size was 9.5. Is that right?
9.5.
Okay. Let's to put that in perspective.
Dan's comment too here: 52 degrees for a high, and like a 75% chance of rain all day Sunday.
That's big.
So,
that's big for
a little chipper
dome.
And rainy out there.
A dome fast team that's big. A sloppy, not sloppy, but wet, nasty sort of game weather temps type thing. That's big for us.
Josh Jacobs, we're calling on you, brother. Give him the ball.
Sir. Yes, sir. To put that in perspective as far as hand size, the reason we're mentioning this because when you play in the rain, it's huge. Jordan Love's hand size is 10.5 inches. So you're like, okay, a full inch there. Like, that's going to be a problem for him to grip the ball a little bit. Patrick Mahomes, though, only 9.25. Doesn't bother him at all, does it? So
right.
Take it for what it's worth there. Now, you mentioned Josh Jacobs, Tim. I'm glad you did because my man, he's on one right now. I don't think people realize just how good of a season Josh Jacobs is having. If we could drop that comment down real quick. Bang. So, rush stat leader, this is according to BetUS. Derrick Henry, 572 rushing yards. Jordan Mason of the Niners, 536. Saquon Barkley of the Eagles, 435. And in fourth place in the entire National Football League is Josh Jacobs at 402 rushing yards.
Here's a guy.
So Josh Jacobs is coming to play. Now, check this out. This got me really excited. PFF said Josh Jacobs is set to excel after contact against the Cardinals defense. Jacobs has 304 rushing yards after contact this season, ranking third among running backs. The Arizona defense ranks 29th in yards after contact allowed to running backs, setting up a favorable matchup for Jacobs. So let's do that again. Jacobs is third in the league, yards after contact.
Right.
The Cardinals defense is 29th in yards after contact. And there's a 75% chance of rain at Lambeau. I don't know what his over-under is on underdogs or wherever you like to gamble away your hard-earned money and lose it. But you might want to look at the over on Josh Jacobs' yards. Just take a peek.
Please, Matt, please don't throw the ball on first down. Please.
Right. And if they come out in that
football,
that's exactly what he'll do, too.
If they come out in that 3-safety look, Clay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just you're begging. You are absolutely begging to run the ball. If you can't, then we become one-dimensional, and that's a bigger problem.
Yeah. And watch Love come out, too, and throw for 425 yards and make me look like an absolute idiot. That's what will happen.
Or we come out running, and we're successful, and then by the end of the first quarter, we don't run the ball anymore.
Right. Exactly.
Part of the course.
I know this.
Part of the course.
If they decide to not run the ball, I'm not too concerned because our boy Xavier McKinney has been an elite free agent signing for the Packers, according to PFF. 90.8 PFF grade. I don't know if you guys know if that's good or not, but that's first among all defensive backs, not just safeties, all defensive backs, right? He is leading the league with 5 interceptions and has 0 touchdowns allowed in coverage. X is the leader of this defense, no doubt about it, man. That dude is a instant captain of this defense. So excited to have him on the team, man. Let's talk about coverages through week 5. We talk about this every week. What are the Packers running defensively? 32% of the time they're running cover 3 zone, all right? Second is cover 1 man at 23%. Third would be cover 2 zone at 16%. Then you would have cover 6, which is half 4, half 2 zone at 12%. Cover 4 zone at 10%. And then cover 0 1% of the time. They haven't even cracked the 1% mark in cover 2 man. So essentially what you've got here with these numbers are 32, 42, 54, 60% of the time they're in zone defense. So does that surprise you guys on the surface with what the Packers are doing? And oh, by the way, their EPA per drop back in the passing game, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13th in the league right now. That seems to be climbing a little bit every week.
Yeah, I mean, my first take is that we're you said 55% plus on middle field close, just straight up with cover 1 or cover 3. And the fact that we don't run, or we haven't even etched a percentage in cover 2 man, I like that we haven't needed that safety net. Why would we have 2 safeties over the top and have everybody man up on all the wide receivers, and they're still getting it done against us? So I'm glad that we haven't had to use that, but it is kind of cool to see that we're closing the middle of the field a lot, and I think that's props to X and Evan obviously and Bullard. But if it's X that's back there at that post, they're a lot more timid of throwing deep.
I agree, and I think that's the formula for Sunday, right? Middle field closed against Kyler Murray, make them throw to the boundary.
Yeah. Let
our boundary corners earn their check and trust our guys in the middle to get it done. I'm with it.
Definitely. We had a question here in the chat I wanted to hit on, and I'm eager to see it too here. What's Jacobs' yards per carry average? I think he's at 4.5 last time I checked. But what I'm going to do is hop in and try to find the rushing yards per the league. I want to see where he stacks up season leader wise when it comes to running the football. So yards per carry, and keep in mind you got to take into consideration attempts, right? Let's see, that's regular season. Okay, got it. So if you were to filter out the ones that are actually starting or what have you, Josh Jacobs, where did he go? I think he's at 4.5. Yeah, so. He's got 90 attempts. So if you took everyone who had at least 90 attempts, or let's just say 70 attempts, yeah, it's kind of hard to filter those out here on Next Gen Stats. But it looks to me like his 4.5 yards per attempt is right around the top 10 mark. You got a lot of guys in here with 20, 30, 40 carries, right, that are ahead of him. Now, the big thing, right, if I remember correctly, was rushing yards over expected. He was having a pretty darn good season on average, rushing yards over expected per attempt. Josh Jacobs is 16th in the league at a plus 0.7 currently is where he's sitting. The big thing for him too, he's had, let's see, as far as speed, 13 different plays where he was clocked at more than 15 miles per hour. He hasn't cracked 20-mile-an-hour spot yet, but it looks like there's only a handful of running backs that actually has as well. So what do you guys think about that? As far as his production on the ground, obviously he got his first touchdown last week, but 4.5 yards per carry, I think anything over 4, okay, we'll take it. You get under 4, no excuses, right? But we're so used to Aaron Jones breaking 5 yards a carry, right, that 4.5 seems a little low, doesn't it?
Yep.
I'm also really not mad about his 4.5 because half of those long 10, 15, 20 yarders got taken away because of holds. And I mean, those are just lost at this point.
I agree. And I mean, it's funny you brought up Aaron Jones. I mean, feels like we're doing the same thing all over again. Give this guy the damn ball. I don't understand it. Like we're paying him a lot of money. We brought him in. We're all excited. And, and I don't care if it's just carries. I mean, throw him swing passes, get him involved in the pass game. The guy needs to touch the ball more, period. That's how I feel. It's not an indictment on Matt LaFleur and his offense at all. I just feel like there are times that just when we get that run game going, we seem to get away from it. And I'd like to see us lean on Josh Jacobs a little bit more.
Yeah. And that Steno was saying that they know that he's already broken the record for longest career in most receiving yards without a receiving touchdown. So they do know that is a stat, and they are actively looking to hopefully rid him of that record.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get him a receiving touchdown.
All right. Since we're talking about Josh Jacobs running the football, that good stuff. Explosives, the Packers are second in the league right now, explosive play rate. That is running plays of 10 yards or more, passing plays of 20 yards or more. They're sitting at 13%, second best in the league, only behind the Indianapolis Colts. So let's do this. Let's look at some of the explosive plays real quick from Josh Jacobs so far this year. These are all of his runs of 10 yards or more. Look at this, guys. I mean, it's pretty good little list here, right? Let's start off in Philly. Obviously, this is the 22-yarder in week 1. And you got that little A set there. You see Christian Watson at the wing. You probably see that this week. Yeah, like the guy mentioned.
To the corner to the ground, too.
Yeah, he not only rambled, but he rumbled and stumbled.
Let's see it right here. Let's see if we can pick up on Christian at the wing. Right here, you see him kind of come over and play wing. Let's see him attack that corner like Emilio was talking about. I think that's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Look at him getting in there. Get on the ground, boy. Little boy. Love to see it.
That little sidestep was everything, right when he hit the hole. That was incredible.
Yeah. It's just enough to make that first line of defense miss for sure. This is supposed to be, if we can get the load up, it's a 32-yarder from Josh Jacobs. All right. I think it's a line too. Yeah.
Little orbit.
Big orbit.
Little eye candy give.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Breaking tackles, yards after contact. Key.
Yeah. My man's balling out. This is a great view right here. Again, watch the orbit, the zipper orbit, zipper orbit. Outside run. Tucker Kraft holding the point of attack. She getting out there, not really hitting anybody, but he got out there. And Josh Jacobs is down the sideline. Great run. 32 yards there on that play. So just to kind of give you an idea of some of the explosives he's hit, right? Here's a 12-yard run against the Colts. Look at that. Got the little pony package kicked in here. I think that's Jaden Reed in the backfield. Yep, fake. Man upfield. Runs a really good pad level.
Yeah.
A lot of fun watching him run the football. So I think it was a great signing, me personally. Again, I'm with you, Tim. It is frustrating when you're throwing so much on first down. That last game, I think we threw had 6 incompletions on first downs. That was just Jordan. Listen, Jordan made his share of mistakes, and we all got a good laugh out of it. Now that we got the dub, we can kind of look back on it and laugh a little. But, man, the reality is you had him in 2nd and 10 all day long. You're playing behind schedule all day.
Yeah, and throwing on first is like it's like addictive, right? You start doing it, and then all of a sudden it's happening all the time.
Yeah.
And so is running the ball too, right? You can get addicted to the run too, and neglect your passing game. Obviously, that's not a concern I have with Matt LaFleur's offense at all. I know we're going to throw the ball. That's why I wish he would lean into the run a little bit more, especially on the early downs. Bates had a great comment in the chat here. Jacobs 5th in the league in attempts. So, he's a lot of that probably came under the 2 games with Malik Willis at the helm. But a great point nonetheless. I mean, Jacobs is getting attempts. He is getting the ball, but I'm talking more situationally. Are we giving him the ball finally on 3rd and short, or are we giving him the ball on 1st and 10 and letting him, do what we see here on tape?
Did you see that, boys? Watch this cutback. Christian Watson on the wing, right? Look at this. Oh, he's dead in the gap. There ain't nowhere left. Like, he's done, right? No, we're gone. Get off.
Broken tackle, yards after contact, another 10 or 15 right there.
That looks just like the tutter he had on Sunday. When
it really did, yeah.
The B gap disappeared, and he created to the outside.
Yeah. Here's a 12-yard run against Indy. At Indy's 43, just right up the middle. Oh, my God. Did you see the jump cut? I've missed a lot of these plays, boys. I really have. I ain't going to lie. This is going to be a pretty end zone cut. Watch this. Watch this jump cut he does in the hole. This is wild. You know what? Let's geek out here a minute. Let's go half. You want to? Half speed? Let's do it. Look at this jump cut right here, Emilio. Whoop. Oh, my God.
It's funny because it's on half speed and it still looks fast.
What was that dude doing?
I don't know, dude. That was filthy, though.
Put his head
down, out of
his
jock. That's what was happening.
All right, that's enough geeking out over film. We had to hit it, though. Had to. We got 3 minutes left. Anything else in the chat? We got anything marked in here, boys, we need to hit on? You already hit the bait stuff, so we're good there.
This is a good one here, kind of backing up Emilio's comment. Jacobs has had at least 100 yards erased by penalties.
Yeah.
Damn, is that real, Brambo?
True.
Oh, my
so
gosh.
True.
That's crazy. I mean, think about
I would
that.
almost think it has to be the case, because that's what Steno even said in his interview, was that penalties are a problem, or have been a problem for this offense. That's an issue that needs to be corrected. It's not that, we can't go further later on in the end of the season, playoff run, whatever, if we're still having 5 to 10, 15 penalties a game. That's an issue.
Always seem to come at the worst possible time too, right?
Right.
Like right after a huge completion, explosive play, something, or
30-yard run.
We need a conversion on third down, and it's got to get shored up. We talked about this with this team last year, and I think we could look back. I believe they started to get things corrected there around the halfway point of the season. But these guys have been playing together long enough now on this offense, particularly the O-line. I mean, we've got a couple new faces in there, but, I think we need our veterans to step up and, make that a point of emphasis to play disciplined, fundamental football on that O-line. We say a lot about Josh Myers. Hey, he hasn't been the one getting flags, so
that's a good point.
Between him and Zach Tom, we saw Zach Tom with it's kind of like seeing a unicorn. You get a penalty on Zach Tom for a false start, and then you watch the tape, and the guy barely flinched, and they called it. Elton Jenkins has had a couple this year. These are guys we need to be the example for our young players. I understand, Rasheed Walker getting the occasional, false start or whatever. He's a young player still kind of coming into his own, but I think we need, the Zach Toms and the big E's of our O-line. And Josh Myers, our center, who is a veteran at this point, need to lead by example so we don't have these shoot yourself in the foot kind of moments during the game, because that's seems to be the only thing holding back this Jordan Love led offense is, getting plays called back due to penalty.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I can't think of Myers getting a lot of penalties like you're saying too, Tim.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like he's played pretty clean. Now he's throwing up on the football and missing on run blocks. Don't get me wrong, but you're right, man. Penalties.
But we're a long way away from snap the freaking ball, Josh.
Yeah.
He certainly stepped it up. So,
yeah, no doubt. It's going to be hard to see this chart, but I did want to point this out. Yes, sir, Brambo, you got it. I just put that one in too.
I saw your head go down, Clayton. I had to go back and grab this one and put it up. Yeah, Seattle plus 16.5 question
We're
mark.
either going to have a really good night, we're going to have a push, or we're going to lose a lot of money. That's what's happening. Right. And I'm ready for it either way. Dontavion Wicks, I wanted to point this out. We know the hands have been an issue, and we'll wrap up here. But this chart here is showing man coverage win rate versus zone coverage win rate. Zone coverage win rate running across the bottom. I know it's a little blurry. I'll tell you where he's at, though. And then the man coverage win rate running vertically on the left. Dontavion Wicks, pretty high on that man coverage win rate, guys. So the question now becomes, what is it that they're running the most out there in Seattle, right? Or not Seattle, but Arizona. I don't have those numbers in front of me. I'm going to try to run those down and see how much man coverage they run. Actually, we do. What are we talking about? We got it right here, don't we? So how much man coverage do they run? Let's see. Cardinals. So they're 39% cover 3 zone, 19% cover 4 zone. So they don't run a whole lot of man coverage. But look at their EPA per dropback. Yeah. Like that is rough. They're what? 6th from the bottom? So 6th worst in the entire league as far as EPA per dropback in the passing game. Now that would suggest they're playing a lot of zone. So, and here's the thing, when you look at that same chart that we just pulled up.
And on top of that zone, Clay, that's 6% in cover 0 too. That's a lot on all out blitz, man. 6%. That's kind of steep.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I'm glad you pointed that out, because that is kind of it's definitely in the top third, right, of the league. So, and again, though, when you look at Tay Wicks as far as zone coverage win rate, pretty solid too. He's somewhere around 15%. It looks like man coverage win rate though. My man's almost a 40% of the time. So, look for Tay Wicks to potentially have a bounce back week. Now, Romeo Dobbs is on here too. Jaden Reed is not on the chart for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe
he is.
Is he? Where's he at?
He's on the horizontal line on the left side. He's the second name up. He looks like he's around Cole Kmet-ish.
Right above Devontae Adams. Yeah.
Oh, Tim, taking it.
It's not a shot, stating a fact.
If anybody's wondering Tim thinks we should trade for Tay Adams. There's your answer. Okay. No, so it looks like he's having a little more success, obviously, against man coverage than zone, right, Emilio? That's the way you're reading this.
Yeah, I think that's how I'm seeing it too. A little bit better there, a little bit more struggling in the zone, which I mean, that's probably true. But we also move him around all the time, so half those are. I mean, some of that separation could be just because he's behind the line of scrimmage or something like that too.
Yeah, definitely. All right, that's going to do it. I think we covered everything. I think
there's this one guy that just had.
Wash your hands, wash your butt, man. That's it. That's
Devontae just had that to say to Tim, man. He was
got to be a top 5 drop of all time, right? Like wash your hands, wash your butt. It don't get any better than that, man. Words to live by. Anything else you guys got before we wrap up here?
Bates here in the chat. We have the 15th most false starts and the 5th most, if the resource he's looking at is correct. Seems correct. Seems like we're definitely with the holds for sure.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that's the refs picking on us or whatever, but we all know holdings happen on every play. It's just a matter, are you getting caught? And when are you getting caught? I mean, we did see a couple blatantly obvious ones. So, I mean, what are you going to do? The ref's gonna have to call it when it's that obvious. But, to Bates's point here, this is more evidence that we got to tighten things up here and play a little bit more discipline. I don't know if it's necessarily more fundamentally sound, because being an O-lineman and getting your hands on a guy, that's part of what your fundamentals are. But we can't be getting caught with these holds, and certainly the false starts, man, they're going to happen. You're going to have one a game maybe here or there, but repeatedly on a drive. I mean, we've had drives where we've had multiple false starts on the same drive, and we just end up working backwards, and that'll kill any offense. So we got to tighten things up for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Amelia, you got anything, bub? We good?
No, I'm good, man. I'm excited. We're coming in. We'll be back Saturday, right, Seth? You'll be off tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be Friday Night Lights, so we'll be back Saturday. Saturday morning, I'll do a show, and I'm going to try to make it back from Knoxville Saturday evening to do an evening show as well. So I might go a little earlier on Saturday, but I'll definitely let everyone know if plans change. You got to run down to my brother's place. So, but man, I'm excited. 12 noon kickoff Central on Sunday. Those best at Lambeau. Some rain, a little bit of rain flying over there at the not so frozen tundra.
Get the crowd pumped up, a little bit of precipitation.
It's going to be awesome. I'm excited about it. So, with that being said, thanks to everyone hanging out with us in the chat, man. Y'all were awesome. Special shout out to Josh Vallanningham gifting 10 Packer Fan Total Access memberships to lucky viewers here. Appreciate y'all. We'll make sure we get those entered into the next giveaway we should have coming up here real soon. So, with that being said, help me out here, Tim.
For those of you listening on the pod,
thank you for making us a part of your day. We don't know why you do, but we greatly appreciate it. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. And go Pack, go.
That is a possum in a dumpster.